This is a HeadGum podcast.
All right, Sony, we are at a pivotal part of our history. We are about to launch our first ever video game system. And I brought you all into this meeting because, well, it needs a name. And so I want you to think about the names out there of existing systems: the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Mega Drive, or the Genesis. Like, I'm looking for names that have some heft, some import. Let's start throwing around the room.
Just to get this one out there, I'm thinking about Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Sony Entertainment System.
You know, we are the newly created Sony Computer Entertainment America, as opposed to the SCG, SCJ rather, the Japanese division. So I think that actually fits pretty well. The Sony Entertainment System.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say no.
That's fair.
I'm just going to say no.
I knew it wasn't going to be the
I'm
one.
not putting it on the board.
Not even making the board.
I want more names. Throw me some names.
All right, I got one. You know, this thing's going to have some games.
Right?
Yeah.
Why be coy about it?
Yep.
The Sony game thing.
That's pretty good. We have the Walkman.
Yeah, we got the game thing.
Now we have the game thing.
Well,
because it's more of a thing than a walking or a man.
I do want to point out that the Game Boy already exists.
Oh,
so you can't really call it a game thing. So that's another no from me.
Well, how about we just take the Walkman branding and we do one better than the Game Boy? We got the Game Man. Are you a Game Boy? You a Game Man?
Yeah.
Step up to the plate.
Or
show your fucking hog.
Yeah, is that fucker cut or what?
Okay, well, I will say this is the first one I'm putting on the board, but I'm worried that we've got internal division separation here at Sony, so I don't know if Walkman is going to allow us to potentially risk the tarnishing of their brand.
I got it.
Yeah.
Because the Walkman is portable.
Yep.
The idea is that you're going to be walking with it.
Right. That makes sense, yeah.
But last time I checked, you play video games sitting down.
Okay, yeah.
The Sony Sit Man.
I like it.
Again, I like where we're going, but these are separate enterprise divisions, and I don't know if Sony Audio is going to let us. But again, because we don't know if the system's going to be huge, so they may not want us to risk the brand of Walkman, Discman, etc.
I mean, we also could go in an edgier, more adult direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what I'm hearing. Give me some more.
The Sony Fuck. Now that's going to get some headlines.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
You have to agree that it's pretty good.
It is good, but I don't think we're going to get shelf space at Toys R Us, KB Toys, Babbage's. These are major retailers, Sears, that we need to get the system into.
It makes sense.
I can't imagine kids being like, Mom, I really want the fuck.
Well, my only thought about it, because I think it's good.
Yeah.
Doesn't really say what it is. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't really sound like a video game console.
Okay.
So I think it should be the Sony Game Fuck.
Pretty good. Are you man enough to fuck this game?
What that dick do?
What?
What that dick do?
Put your uncut dick in this game console.
Okay, so our options right now are the Sony Fuck, Sony Game Fuck.
Yeah, I noticed you haven't written any of these down on the board, by the way.
I have a different angle.
Okay.
And I think we could just also say play against it. We're not going to be edgy at all.
Wait, what word was that?
We'll play against it.
Oh, okay.
Play against the expectation.
Play. Okay.
Yeah, and play.
Okay.
And the current station we're at, we're trying to figure out the name of this thing,
Station we're at.
Yeah, and so I just thinking of play and station. I think we can call this the Sony PlayStation. And it's a Christian demographic.
I've been wanting this so bad because this is I'll say a ungodly work environment, and I can't There's like, it's just not fair.
Honestly, dude, I'm an evangelical Christian.
Me too.
I have been like trying to cover that up by going hard in the opposite direction.
You pitched the game fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm covering up for my deeply held religious beliefs. I'm shamed by saying that.
Yeah.
I have a meeting with my pastor after work every day.
I'm giving myself 40 lashes after this.
Okay. Well, I'll run these up to corporate.
Giving myself some lashes with my fucking hog.
But I do think that maybe
that sumbitch over my shoulder.
The PlayStation
like Sisyphus over here.
The PlayStation might be.
I'm sorry for saying that.
God,
Gentlemen,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
What is happening?
We endure long load times in square, triangle, cross, circle as we discuss the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation 1 this week on Get Played.
Welcome to Get Played, your one-stop show for good games, bad games, and every game in between. It's time to get played. I'm your host, Heather Anne Campbell, along with my fellow host, Tiger Wiger.
That's me, Tiger Wiger, along with our third host, Mr. Games, Matt Apodaca.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the premier video game podcast, where this week we're celebrating somebody's birthday.
Oh, it's somebody's birthday.
Whose birthday? Who's the birthday boy?
Look at this big bouncing baby boy.
Look at this 30-year-old man.
Oh, look at this 30-year-old, this cute little 30-year-old. Look what Daddy did.
Oh, this 30-year-old's got a full diaper.
Matt, what happened?
You know, sometimes you kind of just do one for you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and probably, 20, 30 times an episode.
Yeah. Sometimes we all just gotta say one for ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean, I like hinting at it, but I love saving the topic.
Yeah, we'll
for
get
a little
to it.
bit later in the pod.
Yeah, eagle-eyed listeners will know if they read the. I wonder how many people read the thing.
Nobody
reads the thing, right?
Nobody listens. Nobody reads.
I was gonna call you out for saying eagle-eyed listeners, but I realized you were actually what you're saying was that the listeners who actually read the podcast description, which I think a lot of people don't even realize exists.
Yeah. So maybe don't be so ready to take me down. Sometimes I'd say I'm saying something good.
Shout out to the podcast producers of the world, tirelessly cranking out podcast descriptions, which I have to be in there for some reason.
Man, you had me tirelessly cranking.
Speaking of podcast producers of the world, our normal producer, Rochelle Chen Ranch, is out this week, but in her stead, we have Doughboys producer, Emma Erdbrink. Hi, EE.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming back. Always great to have you in studio on Get Played. Emma, I would describe you as a focused gamer. I feel like you find a few games and you play the shit out of them.
I have my little Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and Stardew Valley have been my obsessions over the past few years.
Stardew Valley is the one you've most recently gotten into,
Yeah,
correct?
I was just telling Matt this, that I started playing it like maybe 2 months ago, and I've put like 200 hours into it, according to the clock. I think I play it sometimes when I'm exporting things, and then like the export finishes, and I just put my Switch down on my desk, and it stays open. So I think I'm clocking hours I'm not actually playing by doing that to myself.
Oh, well, we'll talk about the soft pod.
I mean, I would never on the clock.
It's for other shows.
Yeah. Not for Doughboys.
Okay.
No.
He freaking bought it.
I'm stupid.
That's a funny guy.
What do you want from me? I'm a dipshit. I don't know anything.
Knows he's being taken for a ride.
What's a bus?
Who are you?
Now they're just like that dumb. They don't like know somebody that they like work with.
Whoa!
What's this coming out of my lungs? They know what lungs are, though.
Well, you get limited little chunks of knowledge. We all have our pockets that we're experts in. Who are you? Stardew Valley, obviously, a big part of it is the farming element, the crafting element, the light combat, and dungeon exploration. But there's also the social element.
Yeah.
What is your current status in the game in terms of like romance, in terms of family?
I just married Sam.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thanks. And I have a room with a crib in my house, but I don't know how that happens, so I haven't gotten that far yet. But it's cute. I like the social aspect of it in the game, because you can't spend too much time on it. Like, you can talk to each person like twice a day and give them a gift, and that's it. And then it just like they don't respond to you. So like there's not that much pressure for that part of it. You can be like, oh, I said hi, okay, goodbye, and I leave. It's cute.
The thing that always like fucks me up in that game is if I forget someone's birthday.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
I like didn't realize I was supposed to be keeping
nightmare.
track of that stuff at first. And so I was just ignoring everyone's birthday. And then I was like, oh, there's like a calendar and I can keep track of these things.
How are you with that generally? Like in real life, actually? I would say I'm pretty bad at it. About tracking people's birthdays.
I enter it into my phone and then that is it forever.
Okay.
Like it's just I set a reminder every year.
Yeah.
Because you'll find out once. And then you become the good friend when every year you're like, hey, man, happy birthday.
That's right.
People hate it.
It's a like it used to be a thing you'd have to remember, right?
Yes.
And now it's become a thing that you just like you just note somewhere. And, like I feel like in the Facebook era it would just come up and you're just like you don't have to exert any effort.
I feel like I've talked about this in the past, but the Apple Calendar somehow linked to my Facebook contacts.
Same problem.
And people, that I haven't thought about in like 10, 15 years. I'm just constantly being reminded it's somebody's birthday today. I'm like, I haven't talked to this person I've never wished this person a happy birthday.
I have at least 4 birthday pop-ups every day for whoever. And it's the same thing.
I don't know what to do.
Like I've tried turning off birthdays, but then it turns off all my birthdays.
Yeah.
And that's not what I want.
No, I want
So I did think about going through Facebook and just deleting everybody.
I deleted I don't have an account.
Oh, so that doesn't work?
It's just in there.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, no, I think I do have a Meta account because I think I had to make one for my Meta Quest.
I think at some point I was able to separate them.
Yeah.
Like you were able to, like they were able to do that where it's like you don't have to have a Facebook account to have the thing, but I guess I ultimately have an account because I have Instagram and stuff still.
Yeah.
But
you can't escape it.
Man, everything's good.
But
everything is real good. I agree.
I'm frustrated that Meta is the one that's beating everybody to AR glasses.
Me too.
I don't know if you saw the announcement this week, but the next version, and I'm a happy owner of the fucking Meta Ray-Bans. I love having the off-ear headphones. I love having
the most appealing part of it.
It's great. And I like having the ability to just touch my lenses and take a photo without having to dig out my phone. All that stuff is great for just like
that technology in the wrong hands can be a big problem.
Wait, hold on a second.
What?
I'm not a pervert. I'm not a predator.
Nick's camera roll is just infinity photos of his hand.
I would want it so I could see behind me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
But the new glasses this week have invisible screens in them. We're already there. They have AR screens in them. And you wear a wristband that handles all your gestures. So they don't have the tech that is like the Apple Vision pinching tech, but they do have it if you wear the wristband. Yeah. So you can have all your text messages, fucking like maps, all of it in your eyes. Yeah. Already.
Wow.
I've seen
already. Let's go.
Got anything about the wristband and gestures, smart guy?
No, I didn't say one, so you know I don't.
Oh, man, this guy keeps texting me over and over and over again for
pictures of his hand.
26 seconds. It's
a marathon.
That is a little too much stuff.
Yeah, too much stuff.
Yeah,
the glasses I can sort of get behind.
I also don't like that the new ones are much thicker frames.
Yeah.
I don't know that I need. The other thing is I don't like Meta's suite of software. I don't want Meta's text messages. Yeah. I don't want Messenger in my fucking eyeballs.
No.
I want Apple shit in my eyeballs.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll ditch the visor.
Apple?
Technology.
Oh, for sure.
And then the next version of it would be like a nice pair of glasses.
God,
right?
when fucking Apple glasses come out, I'm done. I'm cooked. I'm fucked. I'm ruined.
Yeah.
The one thing that's inevitable in whatever your AR, the apparatus of choice is in your field of vision, ads. That's coming. It's coming soon. Inescapable. You'll be looking at ads at all times.
I can't wait.
I hate that so much.
I hope it's moving T-shirts on everybody.
Yeah.
Marlboro.
The only thing about them that I enjoy is like when I turn on my TV, and I don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
Full stop. I actually don't enjoy it at all. But when I turn my TV on, of course, it's the stock interface of the television.
Yep.
So it's, whatever the fuck. Mine's Google. And it'll show me these movies that just exist but also don't. Like, I was like, that's not fucking real. There was one that I saw that was called President Evil, and it's exactly what you think it is.
Yeah, sure.
And Joe Biden slasher movie.
What a fucking sale that was.
Yeah.
President Evil is the fastest I've ever heard a concept and the cash register sound in my own brain.
There was one that's like a glam metal shark.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I was just like, these are not true. These are just not true, but they exist, and I could watch it right now if I want.
Absolutely.
And then we live in this hell now, too, where it tells you, like, the tomato score.
Yeah.
Before you watch something.
Yep.
So you're already prejudging something before you watch it.
Great.
And they're all, like... It's just showing me rotten movies, and I'm just like, this is what good could this be doing? This is horrible.
There was also an announcement, speaking of ads, that there's this really fancy $1,800 Samsung refrigerator with a screen built in, and as of today, they did announce that you'll start seeing ads on your refrigerator.
I love it. I fucking love it.
I fucking love it too, Nick.
That's so funny.
Accelerationism. Let's just get on board.
Yeah.
I got like that's. I've noticed that about Apple Maps now. There's now ads in that. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's inescapable.
Great, let's go.
Why not?
Just put a tube over each of my eyes.
And then down my throat.
And another tube in my throat. Make the eyes showing me ads all the time.
Put me in that fucking goo from the Matrix and just call it a day.
Don't forget about the tube up my ass.
So you want the optional tube?
Get up there.
You don't want the other one.
Just put me in the goo with one tube up my ass. I'll deal with it. This guy is raw dogging the Matrix without a feed. He only has the sensation of shitting.
Producing so much electricity.
I'm glad we all seem to be on the same wavelength today.
Yeah.
Everything's great.
Desperate?
Yeah.
Comic-Con The Cruise is the ultimate vacation for fans of comics, gaming, and popular arts. Popular arts. The popular arts. It's 5 days of nonstop fandom fun, panels, and theme parties while sailing the Caribbean.
Get ready to embark on another unforgettable journey where the world of popular arts comes to life like never before.
Meet and interact with fan-favorite celebrities and creators. Enjoy intimate experiences you won't find anywhere else. No convention floor chaos, the stink, the sweat, the wetness.
Well, there's going to be plenty of that because you're going to be on the open seas.
That's true.
It's an immersive community. Artist alley, panels, workshops, and late-night conversations that feel like the heart of Comic-Con, but more personal.
Also, there's daily cosplay events, gaming lounges, late-night parties, and exclusive panels you can't find on land. Yar!
Yar! Sail round trip from Tampa, Florida to Nassau, Bahamas on Celebrity Constellation, January 30th through February 3rd, 2026.
This 4-day luxury cruise fuses fan-favorite elements of Comic-Con community with unique, interactive, and immersive experiences designed exclusively for fans like you, our listeners.
That's right. It's the ultimate fan adventure. And look, there's a lot of people that fans of our show might also be fans of. Felicia Day, for example, Dominic Monaghan, Billy Boyd, they're from Lord of the Rings. There's so many folks. So Doug Jones, who doesn't love Doug Jones?
Learn more and see the full 2026 lineup, including host Felicia Day and a star-studded roster of fantasy, sci-fi, and more at comicconthecruise.com/getplayed. Book a new reservation with promo code GETPLAYED to snag $250 off your cabin. Yar!
Has this ever happened to you? You've been traveling abroad, you want to watch one of your comfort shows, or perhaps even a sporting event, and then because you're somewhere else in a different country that doesn't have that, you can't freaking watch it? Well, I got something for you. NordVPN. Protect your private data like bank details, passwords, and online identity. NordVPN can switch your virtual location, allowing you to save money by purchasing flights, hotels, and subscriptions from other countries at a cheaper price. So look, NordVPN can do all sorts of crazy stuff. You can make it think you're somewhere else. You're wherever you are, you're not getting the best deal, switch to somewhere else. They might have a better deal. That's huge. Protecting your data whilst traveling, and yeah, I said whilst, and using public Wi-Fi, NordVPN protects you wherever you are in the world. I have a theory. This is why they haven't been able to apprehend Carmen Sandiego. She's using NordVPN. They'll never find her. The NordVPN threat protection feature protects you from viruses, malicious malware, and phishing sites. Unless that phishing site is basspro.com. No protection required there. It's the fastest VPN in the world. No buffering or lagging while streaming, and stops your ISP bandwidth throttling. ISP bandwidth throttling, a thing of the past with NordVPN. Premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee per month. Now that's what I'm talking about. One NordVPN account can be used on up to 10 devices. Your phone, your iPad, your mom's iPad, your laptop, maybe even your watch. Who could say? That's not even 10. You surely have some more. Perhaps a proprietary browser on a video game console or something. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/getplayed. Our link will also give you 4 extra months of the 2-year plan. By my estimation, that's 28 months. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast episode description box. NordVPN. You heard?
DraftKings Casino has your playbook for gaming action all season long. Play thousands of popular slots for a shot at jackpots. Over 400 million has already been awarded! New players get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff over 10 days. Download the app, use code GETPLAYED, and claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot win in online casino history. The crown is yours! Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for feature game only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends October 5th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
You were talking about stuff that just comes up by default when you put on your TV, which again is the sort of thing of like, yeah, I understand the era of linear television. You're getting free programming in exchange for watching commercials, and then at a certain point it became you're paying for cable television, but that still has ads. So now you're paying for something, and now it's a thing like you buy a television and you're just seeing ads just for owning a television. Like it's just part of the device. But anyway. I was hanging out with this was a while back. I was hanging out with a past guest friends of the show, Libby Watson and Brendan James, and they showed me this Roku original show called UFO Cowboys.
No,
we watched several episodes of UFO Cowboys, which is great because it is like a group of It's a reality series with a group of, just like cowboys that all have their own discipline. One guy's a tracker, one guy's like a scout. One guy is the gadgets guy, which is clearly a thing. They're just like, look, we're gonna give you a drone, you'll be the gadgets guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just them going around and they'll be flashing light in the sky and be like, I just saw the gates of hell. It's the fakest, there's lowest stakes thing that they just edit like it's,
It's somebody's grandpa's favorite show.
Yeah, 100%. Very watchable.
Hey, you seen that show on Raku?
I'm going to move to that city.
Oh, no.
Thinks it's real.
They had a bit where a guy walked into he was walking into a field where there'd been a UFO landing. And then clearly they just did a stunt where they'd put a cable on him and pulled him from behind. He fell down. Like, something got him.
Yeah.
And then they just they never gave closure on what it was. And it's just so you're just faking stuff now. There's no pretense that this is there's some actual mystery. It's just we're just making stuff up and acting like it's real. Whatever.
Just thinking about my grandpa real quick, I got a funny voicemail from him the other day.
Oh, yeah?
He called me. He always calls me. He goes, Matthew, this is your grandpa. John Wick Chapter 4. End of message.
All you need. Pretty good.
I got it. I was like, oh, yeah, he must have just watched it and thought it was good.
Yeah. Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great, man.
Should we talk about some video games?
Okay,
I think we should.
The question for the room is, what are you playing?
What are you playing?
Oh. That's it?
Resident Evil Merchant, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm trying to keep a low profile.
Oh, what happened?
I don't want to go into it.
Okay. No, well, you don't have to. You don't have to share anything you're not going
Yeah,
to share.
I think if I'm picking up what you're putting down,
I didn't
maybe
say nothing.
Stay clear.
No more words.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Sure.
All
What
right.
are you playing? Turn off your phones.
Turn off your phones. Maybe start learning how to read a map.
Yeah. Just try. I think next week I gotta ask you guys to go analog before I walk in the room.
Oh, boy, okay.
That's all right. I'll talk about my analog pocket.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean, it's weird when you think about it.
It's not analog, is it?
It is not analog at all.
I'm not sure how you do an analog podcast. I guess if you recorded reel to reel, you could maybe that'd be the closest you could get.
I think if you give podcast producers 1 week to figure it out, they'll figure it out, right, Emma?
Yeah, we got it. I got some tape somewhere.
But yeah. Just in and out real quick. What are you playing?
Sounds like Nick Other's show.
Yeah. Nothing real quick about my In-N-Out meal. Taking my time. Enjoying the feast.
Have I talked to you about this? I think fries are done there, and I'm thinking I'm a 2 burgers guy.
I mean, that's a valid, approach.
Have you tried the cheese fries?
Yeah, the cheese. I do like the cheese fries. I do like the animal fries.
I don't think I've done that.
I like the cheese fries.
Yeah, cheese fries are good. They just put a slice of American cheese on that sumbitch, and it's not bad at all. It melts pretty good. But you can also get the animal fries, which are they put that cheese on there.
Yeah.
They put a little bit of the spread, and then they put some griddled onions. That's a lot of fun.
The spot that I'm coming from too, I don't even dislike the fries. I just like the burger a lot.
I like the fries. I understand why the fries are polarizing.
Yeah.
Emma's right. You can definitely plus them up with some add-ons.
Yeah.
But you can do whatever you want. They're your calories.
Yeah.
Choose how to budget them.
Bread only.
Oh, interesting. That's the thing that I'm like, is the extra bread worse than fries?
Probably about on par.
I wonder
carbs-wise.
if because they kind of let you do whatever you want at In-N-Out. I wonder if they would let me do double bread.
They might.
2 buns top, 2 buns bottom.
They might just to
regular
get you out of
food
there.
in the middle.
I bet they'd give you. I bet if they'd at minimum give you an extra bun for a nominal charge. But I'm not sure if they construct it with 2 buns. They might.
Could you ask them bun, burger, bun? Do they do it?
They could. They might. I bet you they might.
Who knows?
I don't know.
It's funny to ask for an odd number of buns.
I feel like you might have to go in store to ask for that.
For sure.
Because if you try to explain it. Oh, by the way, I went to Burger King. Emma saw this video. I went to fucking Burger King yesterday. Got an Impossible Whopper meal, and they have a fucking AI or at the drive-through window. You're not talking to a real person now. You're talking to an AI.
The king has fallen.
Yeah. It's wild.
I got food delivery last night, and it came in one of those little robots for the first time. I had to go outside and meet a little robot on the sidewalk.
A clanker?
Yeah, a clanker. Probably my dinner. And a Waymo drove by. It was raining when I got it.
God.
It was real dystopian.
Yeah.
All this rules.
Yeah, I wish
fucking nightmare.
That's what the AI said to Wiger at the end of his order. It said, "You rule."
It did say that to me. Yeah.
I wish it was all just a little bit cooler. If it was going to be shitty, at least if it was cool, it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, I wish it had the voice that was like the Tom Cruise movie Oblivion.
Yeah.
Like the way the drones sound in that. I wish that was how Burger King AI started. Like, and it just
Can
like,
I take your
God.
order?
And it was like, give me your order.
That's what we're dealing with is ugly cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It's like we're kind of getting that and we're certainly getting the dystopian elements of it. We're certainly getting the the income striation, but like the fucking it's like shitty little robots and things, but everything like looks like shit and it sucks. Now what are you gonna do? I don't mind Waymos, actually. I enjoy riding on
I had
Waymo.
not been in one, but my wife FaceTimed me from one not long ago, and it was a very, very funny experience. She goes, "There's nobody driving."
My wife will not allow me to get in a Waymo.
Wow.
She does not trust them. She does not trust the tech companies or the conglomerates.
Yeah.
She's like, I absolutely do not think that we should allow these people to commodify safety.
Yeah.
So you are not getting in one. And I went, this sucks.
You ran to your room.
That fucking blows. I want to drive in a robot car.
I was taking only Waymos for rideshare for our for our listeners. Jemmy the dog, Emma's dog, a staple of the Doughboys podcast, has just made her cute little way onto the couch next to Heather and is snuggling up. Adorable. Anyway, I was exclusively using Waymos for rideshare, and then there was a gap in where the parts of the city they covered where I had to take an Uber. I was like, all right, I'll take an Uber. It's fine. And I get in there, the guy immediately starts talking about Trump. I was like, all right.
And then just based on that, I know it wasn't in the way you'd want it to.
The question is, what are you playing, Matt? What are you playing?
Look, I'm playing Silksong still, okay? Hollow Knight Silksong. And I don't think a single game this year has made me feel this way.
Wow.
Where I'm just like, it's just pure
game.
It's Heather, you would fucking love this video game. It is so fucking good, and it's hard, and it feels like I wasn't there for this, but I think this is the closest thing I can compare it to, and you were there for this, so I think you'll understand. It feels like the jump from Demon Souls to Dark Souls.
Really? From Hollow Knight to Silksong?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so much. There's so much. Well, the difficulty is it's there. It's true, but like it iterated. It's 7 years of iteration, so like it's like they didn't just like shit this thing out. This thing is like, it's one of the most polished feeling video games I've ever played. And the real sense of exploration and stuff is it's so fun and so great. But like, there's an act structure. There's a quest system now that wasn't present in the previous game. There's the bosses are so engaging and so fun, but like so Souls-like, where like you really, really have to like memorize these patterns and go in prepared. You get tools now, so like tools are additional weapons that you can like toss or like throw down that cause like damage and stuff. Also the environments feel a little bit more like that too, or like in the first one, it's still bugs and stuff, but this one it feels like the world feels a little bit bigger in a way. And there's like, the bosses are just so cool. I spent the good part of the weekend fighting the boss that I mentioned last week, the Widow, and was just getting my ass kicked, but not having a bad time. Just being like, this is like just the best. This is so great and so cool, and getting closer and closer. And when you fail a boss run like that early in the run, you sort of know that you just like fucked up. But when you can spend a few minutes doing it and then you die, that's when you feel like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And so when I did it, I like screamed. I was so excited. I was so happy. And now I'm at this boss. The run backs are like the most punishing aspect of it, actually, because some of them are not just like far, they're also treacherous along the way. So like sometimes if you have a successful run back is then you not getting hit at all or not taking any damage. And then being able to start this boss fight. But like there's some times where I like just fucked up so much along the way that I have 1 health left and I'm about to start this boss fight and just like know it's not going to happen, but just try anyway.
Jeez.
And it's it rocks. It is just it is so great. The music is so good. There's more music in this in general now. Silk Song. You like get this thing that like can like play songs to unlock things. And
what kind of instrument is it? You sort of gesturing as like kind of like a lute or something like that?
It's sort of like that, where it's like
lira?
Because Hornet's like a spider, I think, or something.
Okay.
So there's like
she's silky element.
Yeah, so she's like in command of these like webs and things like that. So she has like this. I mean, they call it like a needle, but it's like a harped needle almost that then she's like playing to then open these different things and stuff. And I'm at a boss fight right now that everybody in the Discord was like, Jesus fucking Christ, this boss. And I'm like, I think I might go wander around a little bit just because I'm very close to getting an additional health mask.
Sure.
Which is going to be needed at this point because it's just some of their attacks are like unavoidable too. It feels like sometimes. And it's just an absolutely incredible game. I know that it's on Game Pass, so if you had some time to check it out, Nick, I think you should too. It's nuts. It's nuts how good it is.
Wow.
And like I know that people waited. It feels like Stolen Valor to have like finished the game the day before the new one comes out and then get it.
Finish the original all night.
Yeah. But like I know people have been waiting 7 years for this one, and for good reason, because it's astounding. I'm loving it.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah,
I'd love to hear this.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole thing is like I've talked about trying, bouncing off Hollow Knight a couple of times. I should give it another go. I don't know if I would jump straight into Silk Song without playing Hollow Knight all the way through, because I do want to have that experience too. So we'll see. But I'm glad that it's like so. It's interesting because the initial response I feel like from a lot of people was just complaining about the difficulty spike, and now I feel like it's settled a little bit more to just admiring the craft throughout. So. Yeah,
because like the difficulty is true. Like, and like I could see why they had to patch some of those early bosses. That, just as a reminder, I did beat before the patch.
Okay,
but I think you do get set up a little bit more later on with like there's like tacks you can lay down that like if you lay them down in the correct spot, the boss is just standing in them and just taking continual damage while they're like standing in it. And like that's cool. That's a great just a cool idea. There's like other little boons you can have and stuff. It's incredible. I'm loving it.
This is an absolutely true story. One time I was in Japan and I had my cell phone with me, but I was following somebody around in the city and having a good time. And then they locked me on a roof of a skyscraper because they were a crazy person. That's a true story. And my cell phone didn't have wireless access. So this next ad is specifically something that I could have used in the past. Because if I'd had Wi-Fi, I could have called somebody. But instead, I had no cell phone service, trapped on a roof in Tokyo. If you've ever been lost abroad or badly needed an internet connection with no Wi-Fi spot in sight, you'll understand what a difference a local SIM card can make. An eSIM provides an internet connection wherever you travel and saves you money on roaming fees. That's where Saily comes in. Saily is a new eSIM service app brought to you by the creators of NordVPN. Here you can choose from several affordable eSIM plans in over 190 countries and 8 regions. With a Saley eSIM, you'll always have a connection when needed. Download Saley once, and you won't have to install a new eSIM for each country. You can avoid scammers selling fake SIM cards outside of train stations and airports. No more wandering around looking for a public Wi-Fi spot. With a Saley, you're always connected. They provide 24/7 support, and you get a full refund if your device isn't eSIM compatible. Download the Saley app in your app store. Use code GETPLAYED at checkout to get 15% off your first purchase, or go to saley.com/getplayed. That's SAILY.com/getplayed. I eventually got off that roof when the sun rose.
Some days, your brain needs a vacation your body can actually afford. That's where IndaCloud comes in. You juggle the chaos. You answer the emails. You even go outside sometimes. So yeah, you've earned a better way to unwind. Enter IndaCloud. Federally legal THC in the form of gummies, pre-rolls, and flour, designed to turn hanging on into fully chilling. So, if you're 21 or older, head to indacloud.co and use code GETPLAYED to get 25% off your first order plus free shipping. That's indacloud.co, code GETPLAYED, 25% off, free shipping. Just a better vibe in your mailbox. So here's the thing. Look, I got sent some of this stuff, all right? I ate one of the orange soda gummies, okay? Now, look, I'll be honest. I'm a bit of a lightweight, all right? I'm not out here blazing it. I'm not over here, insert euphemism here. I'm not doing any of that, all right? I'm not always doing it. But when I do, I like to just chill out and relax. It made me very silly with my friends, and they all had a nice time enjoying IndaCloud. It sounds too smooth to be legal, right? But it is. IndaCloud's products are Farm Bill compliant, third-party tested, and made for grown-ups who want a buzz without the need to drive 25 minutes to dispensary. And that's just a fact. Dispensaries are 25 minutes from wherever you personally are. That's just how it is. More than 50,000 people already trust them, because when it feels this good, it should also feel easy. Whether you're chasing deeper sleep, better focus, or just some peace between your streaming marathons, this is how adults get elevated now. If you're 21 or older, now's your chance to float above the stress, because IndaCloud, see what they did, is giving all new customers 25% off their first order plus free shipping. Use code GETPLAYED or click the link in the show notes to claim your discount. That's indacloud.co, INDACLOUD.co. Use code GETPLAYED for free shipping plus 25% off your first order. Fill out their quick survey when you order to support this show and make your week way more enjoyable. All thanks to IndaCloud.
Heather, what are you playing?
Well, I'm sort of reorganizing my office, and I kind of took everything offline for a little bit, and so I haven't been able to really play a ton of games. I've been so I thought when I hit Master Ball in Pokemon Card Game Pocket that I would stop playing. But there is a siren song of getting into the top 5,000.
Wow.
That is just constantly dinging its little bell at me. And so I'm still playing even though I have hit the highest rank that I've ever hit before.
Whoa.
So I'm inching my way up the leaderboard. I would love to be ranked before the end of the season. I don't know if it's going to happen. I've had good days. I've had bad days. The cutoff for hitting the leaderboard is 2,000 points. I'm currently at 1,750. So it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible that I could become a ranked Pokemon player, like an internationally ranked player. So I've been doing that. And then I've also been playing more of the very, very, very poorly optimized Persona Royale on my Switch 2. It's ugly, man.
That's a bummer.
It's a real ugly game on Switch 2 because it's like not the resolution. There's something about the way that it has been upscaled for the Switch 2 screen that makes it look soupy as fuck. But the rest of the graphics, like the overlays, all the UI elements, crystal clear, like look like stickers that you could peel off the screen. And the game proper looks like I'm looking through Vaseline rubbed on my glasses. It is ugly, but I don't know. It's been on my mind a lot lately. TikTok's been feeding me footage of that neighborhood in Japan. So I keep being like, I should go back. And for the first time, I had curry and coffee because I had an early lunch, and I was like, oh, for the first time ever, I can have curry and coffee. I got to try it. And you know what? It was so fucking hot. It was perfect. It was straight heat.
A real, I mean, like, here's the thing. When I was playing the shit out of that game, I also got into curry and coffee. But for me, it was like a bang bang. Like, I'd have like the curry, and then I'd go and get a coffee afterwards. And I loved it.
I had it plate on the table, coffee cup on the table, having curry, sipping a coffee. So fucking good.
I can say, I get my curry a little spicy. I'm something of a heat seeker, and I want like a cooler beverage. You know what I mean? So, but I guess you can have a glass of water with your
you
coffee.
Can have a glass of water. There's something about the way the bitterness of the coffee brings up the sweetness of the curry.
Sure, I can see that.
It changes the sort of flavor profile of the curry, which I wasn't expecting. I was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Right.
But I've seen it work so much in media and specifically in Persona 5 that I was like, I'll give it a shot. Yeah. And it really fucking works.
I just got to say, Jimmy's asleep and it's really cute.
Yeah, Jimmy tends to do that. I think me talking is a cue for her to catch some Z's.
Well, she hears it here, and then at home in my office, she hears more Doughboys all day. So she's just snoozing to it all the time.
The Tiger Wiger lullaby.
What are you playing?
Heather, thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome.
Deep Rock Galactic Survivor hit 1.0 this week as of this record. Its final retail release has happened after being in early access for some time. I played the shit out of this game in early access and really enjoyed it. It is, as you can maybe infer from the name, a Vampire Survivors-like auto shooter. I think don't quote me on this. I think the final release might also be on Game Pass. I could be wrong about that.
I think I heard that this week as well, yeah.
But I'll say this. I think it's a really fun game. I do love the art direction. I think the effects are great. It's a super like the ultra lo-fi aesthetic of Vampire Survivors has its charm, but it's nice to see a game that like looks this refined and modern, but also with like a really strong aesthetic. The established Deep Rock Galactic's like aesthetic, which is kind of like this. I don't know what the correct term is exactly. Wouldn't be steampunk because it's future, but it's kind of like a Warhammer sort of vibe to it a little bit. Anyway, the great color palette. I really like how the game looks. I really like some of the gameplay elements that have been added on top of the existing like Vampire Survivors convention. There is one thing that I will say about this as it's been iterated upon in early access and finally hit the 1.0 build. The metagame does feel like a bit of a slog to unlock things. I have a negative Steam store review of the 1.0 release. This is by user Bears, and I'm just going to read this because I think this is kind of well said, although it's a little bit more cynical than my take. Let's not get the meme reviews. The real reality is this game is a massive grind. It used to be good and have good meta progression. Now it's complete a 20-minute dive for plus 2% damage to one gun. They've made the difficulty spike, and it's not only unbearable to run through a 20-minute dive just for the small rewards, but also you can just not roll very well and get fewer weaker rewards each time because you find the loss because you cannot kill the last boss. I kind of get that sort of assessment, and there is the element of you know what? This is a completely different type of game, but it's kind of like we remember the initial release of Cyberpunk 2077, and aside from the bugs, a big issue with that game was that the way the skill tree was balanced is like you would get again you'd get a a new thing unlocked, a new skill point unlocked, and what you could give it to would be something that would give you like an extra 1.5% damage to, you know, a katana.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this doesn't feel like any sort of upgrade. And that's kind of a little bit of an issue, is that it doesn't necessarily feel like you're making tangible progress, unlocking things in an ideal way. That say, I wouldn't go so far as to say this game is not worth playing. I really like it. I think it's super fun. I also think that's obviously the kind of thing that could be tweaked. And if you like these kind of games, this one, again, maybe on Game Pass, don't quote me on that. I don't want to see an image of my face with a quote of me saying Deep Rock Galactic Survivors on Game Pass, even if it's true. I just don't quote me on it, because I'm not saying it's dogma. I'm not confident in that. I could look it up. I'm choosing not to. But I'm just saying, like, it might be on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, take a moment and check before you spend the money on Steam, where right now it's on sale. It's like $9. I think it's absolutely worth $9. And especially if you like Vampire Survivors.
But do quote the price. Quote Nick on the price.
It might be $9. It might be a little bit more than $9. So don't quote me on that either.
Oh my God! Now we're just saying stuff.
I think it's $12.99 and like 20 or 30% off. So it's like not. You know, it's I don't know exactly what the cence figure is.
Having played some of it in early access myself, I think it's worth it at any price. That's a good fun game.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Great gameplay.
I did just look it up for you, Nick, and your picture is next to it.
Fuck.
It's Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, launched on Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass September 17th, 2025.
Wow.
Nick Wiger.
Yeah.
They didn't have to add stink lines.
There's a lot of quotes with my picture that I disavow. It's taken out of context.
This one says, I eat diarrhea.
That'd be like, you know what? If I'm being honest, if it were me, that'd be the first one I'd disavow.
Politician having to. I mean, look, that honestly, that'll probably be like the 2028 campaign. I did not eat diarrhea. That ad is a fake.
Yeah, and then the winner is like, I eat diarrhea and I love it.
Bunch of chuds eating diarrhea. Feel owned. All right. Should we talk about the PlayStation 1?
I think let's talk about the PlayStation 1, but also, before we start, I'd like to, maybe if we could all just take this moment to listen to one of the most beautiful sounds ever made. Emma, if you'd please. So the beginning of that sound
of a memory.
Yeah.
It's good on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it stopped there, you'd be like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Then the second part of it kicks in where it's kind of like chimes. And you're like, well, now we're just showing off. This is good stuff. I love it. One of the great sounds.
The PlayStation 1 startup sound was created by Takafumi Fujisawa, the sound designer for the PlayStation project, who sampled real-world instruments, MIDI sequencing, and the console's own sound hardware to create that sound in less than a month. It was designed to evoke excitement and security, progressing from an orchestral-like tone to twinkling bells and a traditional Japanese flute, all while fitting within the console's limited memory.
It rocks. It's really great. Is it I know we did this before. Is it the best of the PlayStation startup sounds? I know the PlayStation 3, the original orchestra one is great.
The original orchestra tuning on the PlayStation 3 is the biggest moment of hubris in the history of games. It is so hard for me not, like, I do think the PlayStation 1 is the best one ever.
Yeah.
And I'm a Sega kid.
Yeah.
So that's a hard admission for me to say.
I'm a pretty big fan of the solo beep of the new generation. Oh God.
Boy.
Beep.
Fuck.
Beep.
Don't get me started.
Come on, just beep.
Yeah. Used to make things in this country.
And now it's just beep this and beep that.
I know.
Oh, I love this. There's an interview I have with Takafumi Fujisawa. And one of the concepts was to maintain the core image of this sound no matter what type of TV speaker it's played on, as there could be countless types of TV around the world. The only limitation was the size of the ROM. But I love that idea. Like being like, cool. Okay, this has to sound good if it's on a shitty speaker, on a great speaker. Yeah. It's got to have a good, rich, full sound, and also enough high-end, minimal sounds that it'll sound good coming through those Costco VHS players.
Yeah.
Always interesting to hear somebody who made something good talk about wanting to make it good for a good reason.
Yeah.
It's like, wish I thought like that.
I love the PlayStation 1 startup sound.
Yeah.
It's a great startup sound. But yeah, the reason we're talking about this is that this month marks the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation release here in the United States. It, of course, released December 3rd, 1994 in Japan, but then didn't make its way stateside until September 9th, 1995, and then the 29th in Europe, and then all around the world thereafter.
I don't remember the launch being a huge thing.
Yeah.
I and again, I was not paying attention to games in the same way, but I was definitely playing games and definitely tracking new consoles. It did not feel like the existence of the Sony PlayStation was seismic, obviously, Sony's entry into the market, but I don't remember the launch itself being like this earth-shattering thing.
Well, I remember going to KB toy stores with my parents and seeing the announcement, like a poster that said Sony PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I had this vague idea of like there being other companies that made game systems, but I was like, this is going to not work. It's Nintendo or Sega. That's who makes games. And there was, at least for the limited number of people I knew who played video games at that age, there was like a skepticism for my small group of gamer friends. It was kind of like, I don't know, and like looking at pictures of the controller and being like, that looks cool, but does it work? You know?
Yeah, the initial PlayStation 1 controller did not have the analog sticks. It had a very weird looking and honestly, I think kind of cumbersome to use D-pad that persisted in various forms and been improved upon. Obviously, the buttons were their own thing. The two... Was it the first to have the 4 shoulder buttons? I think it was. I could be wrong.
I think that's... I kind of remember that the very first one only had L1 and R1.
Oh, that might have been an addition with the DualShock is what came with the L2 and R2.
Yeah, and then the second ones were then on every version afterward.
It was also such a weird time because Sega made the colossally terrible choice to suddenly launched the Saturn that summer.
Surprise launch.
Yeah, they announced at E3 and that system will be available today, which had like fucked over retailers. It fucked over like so much of the industry.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh God, if Sony eats our lunch, we're fucked. So there was, I already had a Saturn and I thought it was so magical because Panzer Dragoon was one of the launch titles and it was so gorgeous compared to the Sega CD. Like I was like, this is all I need.
Yeah.
And then the launch titles for PlayStation were like Battle Arena Toshinden.
Yes.
And that was not a good game.
No, a weird C tier at best fighting game. It was. They didn't. What it was Jumpin' Jack Flash. I don't know if you have the launch titles in front of you, Matt, but Jumpin' Jack Flash, I feel like was a pretty early.
Just Jumping Flash.
I apologize. Yeah, Jumpin' Jack Flash is the song and the Whoopi Goldberg movie. Yeah, the Jumpin' Flash, which their fans exist of that game. Battle Arena Toshinden, kind of whatever. I like the other thing about the Saturn is that it was initially 2D focused and grafted on 3D to compete with the PlayStation. Also, again, with the surprise launch, another thing where just like the genius level stupidity of Sega displayed in being ahead of their time, like they were with like all the online play that was built into the Dreamcast, but in a disastrous sort of way. Because like Apple would do surprise launches, but they'd figured out how to do it by the time they had the infrastructure for that.
The games that were launch titles in North America included Air Combat, Rayman, Ridge Racer, great game,
Ridge Racer,
Street Fighter the movie.
Oh yeah,
Battle Arena Toshinden, Jumping Flash, Power Serve 3D Tennis, The Raiden Project, Lemmings 3D, Wipeout, and Kilik, the DNA imperative.
Wipeout's no slouch, but it's kind of it was a semi underwhelming lineup. It took some time to come into its own, but like what was so smart again about Sony is that they had a 3D strategy. They were like aware of where gaming was going, and they made a console focused on like having 3D hardware capabilities that the games could take advantage of.
There were also NBA Jam Tournament Edition and Soul Calibur, which was a pretty decent game, though not the showstopper that Soul Calibur 2 was.
Was it? It can't have been Soul Calibur was it Soul Edge?
I mean, yeah, Soul Edge.
Yeah.
It's listed here on GameRant.com as Soul Calibur. But yeah, I remember renting the PlayStation and renting Toshinden and Jumping Flash.
Yeah.
And being like, boy, these are clunky. These are clunky games.
This ain't it.
Yeah.
This ain't it, especially because, again, can't sing the praises of Panzer Dragoon enough, was so smooth, orchestral, grand. You're riding a dragon. It's it's beating its wings.
Yeah.
And the last like 3D flying game that you played before that was probably Star Fox.
Right.
Like it was awesome.
It's interesting that it came out when it did, because it's at the tail end of the Super Nintendo. That's still massive, and it releases before the Nintendo 64, which is obviously their next thing, and then contemporary with the Sega Saturn. But like kind of then really kicked off. I mean, I guess the console wars had already begun because of Sega and Nintendo, but now that there's a third entrant, a third major entrant, rather than some of these other ones that aren't doing so hot now, it became a real thing. And of course, I feel like we should mention that the PlayStation only exists because of a failed attempt to make hardware with Nintendo.
Yes,
What a different world it would be.
Yeah.
If first off,
do you think that's where things started to go the way we are now?
That's the moment.
Could be, yeah.
Well, like if Nintendo had a CD add-on, like it would have been such a color forward experience, because Super Nintendo games were always leaning on the fact that they could display more colors than the Genesis. So it would have been such a color forward experience. It probably would have been a launch game would have been a Miyamoto game. Like it would have been a totally different trajectory. And then the PlayStation doesn't come out. And then maybe Sega still exists as a hardware company.
It's hard to play the what if game with something that was so huge, because it's just like it changes absolutely everything about the video game industry. So many games don't exist as we know them. Then the hardware market is obviously completely different, but it's a fascinating thought exercise. The other thing we'd lose is the Philips CDI Nintendo games, which are of course so fucking bizarre that they're so. I mean, one reason I think that, and along with the Super Mario Brothers live action movie that came out in the 90s, the Nintendo is so protective of their IP now, is because back then it completely bit them in the ass that they let some other developers mess around with Zelda and Mario and ended up with, excuse me, princess.
I can remember the first PlayStation game that did wow me.
Oh.
Which was Bushido Blade.
Sure.
Bushido Blade was a 3D arena fighter. Arena fighter, is that right? I don't know. You would have these sort of large play areas, and most of the fighting games at the time were very confined. Most of them were 2D. They were just the beginning of transformation into 3D fighting games. But you could free run anywhere on the level, and any damage you did to the opposing player or that they did to you was permanent. Yeah. So if you struck them with your sword and they took the damage in their arm, they couldn't use that arm anymore. It was a really interesting. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a type of game I haven't seen before. And that's when I started getting interested in picking up a PlayStation even though I already had the Saturn.
Bushido Blade was very fun. I maybe only rented Bushido Blade, but really enjoyed it. It's like kind of like an anti-fighting game in the way that, again, just like it's like when you'd play Rainbow Six versus like a more arcadey FPS game, and you could just take like you shoot someone once and they're dead. It's the same sort of thing of just like you hit someone with a fucking katana, they're just probably gonna die. And the match is gonna be over.
I'm almost certain that Bushido Blade was my first PlayStation game.
That's wild.
After I rented it, I was like, oh, this is it. This is the thing. And either saved up money or begged my parents for a Christmas present and got the PlayStation and Bushido Blade. And then that was my two systems for a while was Saturn and PlayStation.
The free roam running was a big part of the fun of that game too, as you mentioned. I got to say, I got to issue a correction. If you're being a pedantic listener out there, on social media or in the Discord, I'm correcting it. All right. So whatever you typed, you can just go ahead and delete that now.
I would say too, save your corrections for when you're done listening, because this happens. Sometimes you'll see a comment that's like, "Oh, I wish they said this," and then guess what? Not 2 minutes later, we say it.
I started to doubt myself, and I was correct when I looked it up. That I had to doubt myself. Excuse Me, Princess is not from the Philips CDI game. It is from a cartoon. It's from an animated series, but
Captain N.
Yes, but there are a bunch of there are a bunch of shitty quotes of and with really bad voice acting from the Philips CDI Zelda game. So I got to give myself 2 Pinocchios.
Now that I heard what the correction was,
yeah.
You can't have that happen again. You cannot mess up like that again. I have a very specific early PlayStation memory for me because I did not get one at launch, obviously. I was but a wee boy. But I remember seeing it at my uncle's house and being like excited when he would be playing on the PlayStation because that to me was more grown up. It was like more like, oh, these are like this is where like the cool games are. Like these are like the cooler games. And like at that point, he was playing like Metal Gear and well, maybe not right at that point, but like when I became super aware of it, he was playing Metal Gear and Tenchu.
Oh yeah,
which still in my there's sound effects from that game that are just stuck in my brain because like the sound effects of like slashing at people with like your sword were so good in that game. But I got my PlayStation I think in like 1997 or 1998, so a couple of years after the fact, and I was so pumped. And the 2 games that I had, well, I had 3 games for it. One of them was a demo disc that I've mentioned on this show before. It was the Sony PlayStation Interactive CD Sampler Disc Volume 5.
Wow.
Okay? And it had games like Parappa the Rapper, Tomb Raider 2, Armored Core, Cool Borders 4, Star Wars Master of Terras Kasi, NFL Game Day 98, NHL Face Off 98, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, Intelligent Cube, and Jet Moto 2.
What a phenomenal disc.
Yes. I played this game so much because I didn't have that many PlayStation 1 games.
God, that is a good disc.
Yeah, so I would play a lot of the ones over and over again, mostly because the Star Wars game there is like a lightsaber fighting game.
Yes,
I would play that with my brothers for hours.
That I remember being pretty bad.
Yeah, it was not great.
But it had Star Wars characters.
Yes.
My PlayStation came with, I think, Demo Disc 1, which one of the features was just an animation of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And that was it. And they were like, look how real it looks. And you at the time you were like, wow, this looks real.
The other game that we had was Tomb Raider, which
Speaking of dinosaurs.
Speaking
of
of
T-Rexes, yeah.
But it was not a game that I was particularly interested when I was that little.
Sure.
But I've said this before on the show too, but I remember waking up in the middle of the night, my mom sitting in front of the TV like in Poltergeist playing Tomb Raider. And just like it was shocking to me because I was like, then I feel like I remember like telling my brothers, like, guys, mom's cool. Like she's like playing a video game. And then I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah, of course,
And that obviously changed the trajectory of my life forever. But yeah, so I got to it late, but then just like we had it. I still have. Well, no, I didn't even have my. At some point along the way, we said goodbye to my PlayStation 1, and then I had to re-buy a PlayStation 1 because that was one of the features of things to do at my wedding. I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Crash Bandicoot for people that wanted to play video games in the bar that Heather lent a nice little CRT for.
That's a cool little setup.
I have footage here of the tech demo for the T-Rex that came packed in with the original PlayStation, and there's no backgrounds. There's no nothing.
Oh, my God.
It was just footage of a dinosaur. Then you could control if his head moved. You could move him in space. But at the time, this looked real to us.
I was going to say, I sort of understand the people that ran out of the theater when the train came from screen.
It's a good model.
It is a good model. It's also... That's the only thing the PlayStation is doing. So every polygon that it is capable of producing is in this one dinosaur, which was kind of a misleading tech demo because you were like, oh my God, if games are going to look like this, it's going to be like Jurassic Park on my television screen.
Do you guys want to take a guess at when Sony ceased production on the original PlayStation?
It's because they had the remodel. They had the PS1, which is like a really aesthetically pleasing console. Really small, like actually white. It was like as opposed to the gray, it was like a totally white body to it. Looked really great, and then it had a detachable screen.
Right.
These things, the shelf life of these things stretches out really long, especially internationally. I will guess 2009.
So PS2 comes out in 2001, right? Or is it 2000? One of the other, maybe 2000.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, it must have been 2000. So I'm gonna guess 2010.
It was 2006, which is still a really long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's 11 years, and it's the year the PlayStation 3 came out.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine them having a meeting like,
we gotta
stop making these.
While we're talking through our personal histories with the PlayStation 1, I did buy a PlayStation 1. It was the first time. It was a thing I bought with my own money that I had saved up, and it was the first time I became someone owning a non-Nintendo console. I did end up getting it. I did have a Nintendo 64 as well, which I got earlier. I got the Nintendo 64 at launch because I wanted to play Mario 64.
You're the kid in the video, right?
I'm the kid. Yeah, I'm the kid in the video. But no, it was the first time I had a PlayStation. First time I had a non-Nintendo console. And I was also a PC gamer, but that's obviously its own thing. It felt like something of a betrayal. But what are you gonna do? And anyway,
you felt betrayed, or that
no, like I was like betraying
you were
Nintendo.
Doing the betrayal.
Yeah, but the
I
thing.
heard Mario cried.
Oh my God! Don't tell me that.
I heard Mario cried.
Oh fuck! I feel horrible.
Yoshi licked his tears.
There was a compilation.
Where did you go?
There's a compilation video on YouTube I would share for the appropriate occasions that was someone had just strung together a bunch of clips of Luigi crying and anyway, I mentioned this before that I like the games that got me to buy a PlayStation 1. It's not anything shocking, but it was an experience playing Resident Evil at a friend's house, and then also the Final Fantasy VII ads, and a limited amount of time I got playing Final Fantasy VII, where I was just like, I gotta own this fucking thing. This is doing stuff that is just not available on Nintendo hardware. And also as someone who had played Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 4/2 US, and Final Fantasy 6/3 US, and loved all of them, I was like, I have to play the new Final Fantasy game. I guess at the time it was the fourth Final Fantasy game that had actually been released in the U.S. Mm-hmm. They later went back and have released the full catalog, but they never released 5 here. They never released 2 or 3. So I was like, I got to play the new Final Fantasy game, and the cinematics there, like the dinosaur animation, were just so staggering for the time that I was just like, I just have to experience this. And so Final Fantasy VII was the first game I bought for PlayStation 1 when I got it, which I believe would have been 1997. Played the shit out of it. Loved that game so much. And the second game I bought was actually not Resident Evil. It was Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I had read a bunch of rapturous reviews in like EGM and GamePro and, other mags of the era that were just talking about how great it was. I know it was a game that did not sell well initially because it was a 2D experience, but, the game that gave us the idea of a Metroidvania, because that was the first time that Castlevania had a like more of an open-ended structure as opposed to the linear sort of straight ahead approach it had in the earlier games, and just an absolute masterpiece. One of the best 2D games that's ever been made. The Saturn version of, just go back to the Saturn version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I never experienced, I always heard was better.
Yes,
but the PlayStation port was obviously much more easily available.
It was also uncensored. Because there was some some light censorship in the PlayStation version that wasn't present in the Saturn version.
Yeah.
Especially if my Saturn was my first ever modded system. I brought it to a place that modded systems in Chicago, and I asked if they could put a switch in it that would make it so that it could play Japanese games or American games. Mm-hmm. And you would just have to make sure the power was off before you threw the switch. And then I could import games for the first time. And that was crazy. But we're not talking about Saturn. We're talking about PlayStation.
No. Yeah.
The way you would play imported games on a PlayStation, if you had the original model, is you would wait until the boot started and you would have a paper clip or something jammed into the mechanism of the door so that you didn't have to close the door when you were playing a PlayStation game, like lock the lid. I had accomplished it with a couple of beads that I had jammed in the mechanism and then taped over. Oh. So the door was perpetually open. You'd wait until the boot animation had stopped. And then you would pull out the disc physically and jam in an import disc. And you could bypass the import copy protection stuff.
Wow.
So those two systems are my first introduction to I can go to the Japanese mall and get games that nobody has.
Yeah.
That may not ever come out here. I got Ghost in the Shell for PlayStation 1 because there was Ghost in the Shell wasn't huge here.
Right.
And it's a phenomenal game. It did eventually come out for the PlayStation, but I had it for at least a year, if not more, before it was announced.
Wow.
And I don't know. It was a pretty exciting. It was an exciting time. Also, to what Nick was saying about Final Fantasy VII, I don't think people now can understand the sort of concussive speed of Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 all hitting within 4 years.
Yeah.
Like the biggest games that anybody had seen all coming out for the same system. Now we're lucky if we get one Final Fantasy game per system. And at the time, there were 3 on the PlayStation 1, and each one of them was a full banger.
And a just a completely different swing. Obviously, 7 is the one with the biggest legacy, but 8 is trying some crazy shit. 9 kind of a response to 8. Or at least that's how it was perceived, and sort of its return to more of a fantasy sort of aesthetic. But yeah, and then obviously, again, we're not talking about Sega, but the move to completely cuck the Dreamcast launch in North America by launching Final Fantasy VIII on the exact same day. A masterstroke by Sony.
And now people, that doesn't happen. People
no.
A game gets announced, and then other games are we're not even trying to come out on that day anymore. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
The what you really Heather, I'd not thought about that sort of the soft mod way of getting your playing import games in so long. That used to be a thing. You could get a mod chip, which was I think for our listeners who are maybe not as familiar with the region breaking of previous generations, you would go to an independent game store, or you could do it yourself. But it was usually easier just to go to some guy who had the stuff. And then pay a guy who looks like me now to open up the your hardware and then solder a chip that would pass the region protection so you could play imports. I did ultimately do that on my PlayStation 1 a few years later.
I still have my original PlayStation 1.
I wish I had mine still.
Which I got the Mark 1. So it has 3 audio outputs on the back instead of the fused single like Sony proprietary jack.
Mm-hmm.
It has like RCA outputs. And there are audiophiles who still, because they were taking such a beating, like a big loss on the CD drive on the original PlayStation just to get it out, that there are a bunch of people who still use the original PlayStation as their CD driver.
Wow.
Because the audio fidelity on it is apparently like an extraordinary engine.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
That's rad.
In certain subsets of like audiophile community, you will see these like reskinned like glass PlayStations.
Yeah.
Or like somebody has taken the entire chipset and the drive and put it into a different housing so that they can just use it as a CD player.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
I got to talk about my PlayStation build, if you will.
Okay.
I had the one controller that came with it. I never had the DualShock controller for the original PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have that experience until PlayStation 2, right? My other controller was like a Mad Catz like third-party controller.
Of course.
And both of my memory cards were third-party memory cards.
Yep.
And that was it. And then I was playing on a TV that I won at a family reunion, and everybody was really mad because I was a little kid and I won the raffle. Everyone was pissed off at me.
Toward the end of the PlayStation's life cycle is when I got a job working at a video game store.
Mm-hmm.
And they were selling the gamer television, the GX TV,
Mm-hmm.
at the video game store. And so I used my employee discount and got a GX TV so that I could play PlayStation at like higher fidelity or however the fuck it was sold to you. It's one of the things that I don't own anymore that I really fucking wish I still had.
Wow.
Was the GX TV. You guys should look it up. It was a CRT television with a closed front, right? And when you opened the front, they were huge speakers, like speakers the size of the screen. And it was an all-in-one model with a giant speaker on top. What do you think, Matt, of that thing?
This is the most Heather Anne Campbell thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like that dinosaur from Jurassic Park that spits on Newman.
The Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt, you mentioned Crash Bandicoot, which was a big part. There's a big reason the Sony PlayStation 1 ruled the world, and the PlayStation 2 obviously as well, was the marketing. And they kind of followed up of Sega's playbook for the Mega Drive and the Genesis, which was kind of making it like a little bit cooler than Nintendo.
Yeah.
But here they like absolutely just look cooler and more adult than what Nintendo was offering.
Yeah.
And like certainly the Final Fantasy VII being just watching TV ads of that was so like crazy at the time. The Gran Turismo ads as well were also like things that just like made this game so look so compelling, and again, kind of like more of a grown-up experience targeted at teens as opposed to little kids. And then, of course, as I mentioned, Crash Bandicoot, they had the Crash Bandicoot mascot character. Past guest Alex Berg,
that's right,
back in our old format, at one point played Crash Bandicoot in the mascot suit.
So crazy.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that confused me about what Hollywood was.
This guy we know is Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah.
But those were like kind of like edgy, quirky, funny, like kind of a pre-internet or early internet sort of like random sort of comedy, and they connected with audiences in a different way than Nintendo's marketing.
Crash was huge for me when I was a kid, specifically because I didn't grow up a Nintendo kid, so like just not on my radar. It was Pokemon and Crash, right? So I have two very specific Crash-related memories.
Okay.
One was we were like leaving to go somewhere, and I hadn't saved yet, and I had just beaten the boss that was taking me like a long time, and my brother came and hit the eject button, which, by the way, I miss buttons that push in.
Oh yeah,
physical buttons
are so good.
They were.
These
tactility.
They had great buttons on this thing, but he pushed the eject button, or that opened the the clamshell, the lid, and I was devastated and was in a bad mood the whole time we went out. And then the second crash memory that I had was going home early from school on September 11th, 2001, and playing Crash Team Racing all day.
Wow.
Yeah. Got a lot done, and they've now re-released, the Insane trilogy, Crash Bandicoot and Crash Team Racing. And Crash Team Racing, I still think better. I think better than some of the Mario Karts. I'll go ahead and say it. I think it's really good.
Crash Team Racing was solid. It was a fun kart race.
Yeah.
Also, that reminds me of one of the most early 2000s images of all time. Matthew Perry, R.I.P. as Chandler Bing on Friends playing Crash Team Racing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. Look, Crash on Friends. That's like game recognized game kind of, you know what I mean? Like that's like Friends is the biggest show on TV. Maybe not at that point, but like it's it's a huge show. Mm-hmm. Then Crash Team Racing's on the thing. It's like, damn.
It's not huge. Unlike when Kevin Spacey played the Vita on House of
Cards. Yeah. It's not as weird as that, but
lobbying Congress is kind of like eating barbecue. Fucking Foghorn Leghorn.
I love the backpad technology on the PlayStation Vita.
Like killing a dog.
Yeah. Have you played this exclusive Uncharted card game?
I want to talk about being a girl gamer and Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Because at the time, I know the Tomb Raider is designed for the male gaze. Like, you're staring at her ass. Every time she like pushes herself up on a ledge, it sounds like she's fucking the ledge. Like, sure. I get it. I get it. But
I gotta play this thing.
But also, I had grown up playing video games.
Yeah.
And I had never played as like a girl action hero before. And it was such an emotional experience for me. Like, I was like, this is... Like, I felt like special and seen, even though I know that I wasn't the intended audience for it. Like, so much of the marketing of Tomb Raider was you play as a girl, and then it would be like her, like, holding a gun like it was a dick. It's like not. It was extremely 90s and extremely like, unwoke or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me personally,
I like it.
Being an archaeologist girl main character with guns who was like going through this adventure was really, really important to me. And Tomb Raider 2 was one of my favorite games on the entire system. So when you were like, oh, it's on the demo disc, I was like, oh, that's the good Tomb Raider. That's the one where you start and you can like lock your butler in a freezer.
I've weirdly like never played any of the 6 original Tomb Raiders.
They are so of their time. Like the mechanics and everything are really clunky. Like if you played Mario 64 and you're like, oof, this is rough, playing Tomb Raider is like trying to drive a car with cardboard covering it. Like you can't see anything. You don't know, like reversing is really hard. Like they are a very mechanically precise game also.
Yeah.
Like you would have to like step specifically up to certain ledges to be able to jump certain distances.
Yeah.
And you would have to like inch the character forward in order to achieve these things.
Yeah.
Or like set where you were going to jump and then like do 2 back steps so that you could get the proper amount of leg movement before you leapt.
I weirdly remember, like seeing like, Lara Croft doing like flips to get like from platform to platform, and like that is like insane, of course. But like, seems like it would be difficult.
It was a difficult game, but it was also so enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What you talked about, I mean, like obviously again they're marketing towards horny teen boys with the way they pushed Tomb Raider, even though I don't think that was necessarily the intention of the devs.
Playboy or something?
I don't know if they went that far.
There was a video game character in Playboy. Now it's escaping me who it was, but I remember that.
Look, it was Blood Rain. Okay, I know. I'm sorry, I know that, but I know that.
Was it Playboy or was it like Maxim? It was Maxim.
It was one of the They did definitely were like leaning into that, but I mean that was again also part of why they were like the anti-Nintendo. There were other games that were just like getting very like. Pushing how horny they were. I mean, the Parasite Eve games. Again, I don't think that was necessarily the intention, but that was the way they were marketed. Yeah. And then there was the Fear Effect series, which I think is defunct. But I remember those games being very horny. It was again, you just weren't seeing the stuff on Nintendo hardware. The other thing you weren't seeing outside of that was part on the cartridge format was extensive voice acting and symphonic scores, and that was like such a huge distinguishing characteristic. That was a big part of what made it feel so like such an upgrade, even though in some ways the Nintendo 64 was superior hardware. And I think that brings us to Metal Gear Solid, which we should talk about. I will say this. I really like Metal Gear Solid, and I love the Metal Gear Solid VR missions, which was a separate game, or I think it was a separate full game that I later bought. But it did not grab me, and it did not make me be like I'm like I love this series at the time. Like I appreciated it, but it was not really like a. It didn't get its hooks in me. Metal Gear Solid 2 is the one that made me be like, oh fuck, I love this. Yeah. But still, Metal Gear Solid was like such an amazing experience, and just again like the stealth as gameplay was such a novelty, and so much voice acting in that game, such a cinematic presentation. It really felt like so cutting edge in its moment.
I've played some of it actually pretty recently on my PlayStation Vita, and it's interesting because it's very of its time in terms of gameplay, but it's very challenging. It's because like my main Metal Gear is Snake Eater, right? So you do have that sort of like it's still a stealth game, but you could also just kind of like go crazy and just like, be a murderous psycho.
Yeah, sure.
in this game. But in that one, you can't really.
Sam, you just killed that man. Oh no, Sam.
Sam, make sure you don't use your grenade launchers because it makes too much noise with the explosions. But yeah, like in Metal Gear Solid 1, it's if you get seen, you're basically done for. You're cooked. I feel like that game belongs on maybe it belongs on the Mount Rushmore of PlayStation 1 games, I think, right?
I have my 10.
You have your 10.
I have my 10, and I wonder how much overlap there is between all of our 10.
Yeah. So I didn't make a 10 going in. I thought we were going to collectively make a 10, but I want to hear your 10.
No. Well, we can make a collective 10.
I mean, we could use yours as a starting point.
Well, a game that we haven't talked about yet that is very important to me is Suikoden.
Yeah, sure.
Which is previous to Final Fantasy VII RPG on the PlayStation 1. With an enormous cast and a small, like, castle building. Really, really good game. Was recently remastered and re-released for the Switch 2 and Switch 1, and I highly recommend it. Also for PlayStations. So Suikoden, Final Fantasies 7, 8, and 9, Parappa the Rapper, Vagrant Story.
Yes, incredible game.
Final Fantasy Tactics, Tomb Raider 2. Wait, is this more than 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it is. Tomb Raider 2, Silent Hill, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and then Metal Gear as well. I have Metal Gear on the list, but I actually did not play Metal Gear on PlayStation.
Wow. I mean, like, yeah, it's so notable that I think it like kind of has to be in there. Is there a Resident Evil? Because I would think Resident Evil 2 was one I would think like has to be on a list.
For other people's lists, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil franchise ends up being like a genre-defining series of games.
Yes.
And Resident Evil 2 is incredible. Resident Evil 1 has the first, for a lot of people, the first scare in a video game, which is the dogs jumping through the window. It's like become like the iconic moment in retro gaming horror.
I think the first scare is when you press start and that guy says Resident Evil.
But I greatly preferred Silent Hill because I was like, this place is fucked.
Yeah.
Like it was not like Resident Evil had like sort of things that made sense. It's like, oh, there's zombie virus. Oh, the dogs are zombies too.
Yeah.
Whereas Silent Hill, you're in a classroom and there's a baby crying for no reason. You're like, oh, come on. What is happening? What is this?
I love Silent Hill 2. Incredible game. I did not get into OG Silent Hill, but I think it's obviously a fair entrant. The games that I would lobby for, one of Oddworld Abe's Odyssey and Oddworld Abe's Exodus. These were puzzle platformers that were like kind of like a hell world where you were an enslaved factory worker like going through a series of really deadly sort of gauntlets to free your fellow workers. And it was a gnarly game. Had really cool character design, incredible animation. There were two of them back to back, and I actually prefer Odyssey, although Exodus was a little bit more expansive and ambitious as the sequel. But just like it's. I love Super Meat Boy is much harder, but also has like grinding you into things, and it is a really sort of nasty, bloody sort of game, while also having like a cute element as its contrast. Super Meat Boy is way harder, but I like that sort of gameplay where it's like, here's a gauntlet I need to get through, and I need to like kind of like, I need to be precise enough in my movements to get everything correct so that I can traverse through this section and achieve this objective. But I would lobby for, maybe an Abe's Odyssey. I know that's a little bit of an offbeat pick. I was trying to think of what else should be on there. I mean, you noted Parappa the Rapper, which would have been one if you hadn't mentioned it that I would definitely want on there. I guess it just comes down to what do you want to do with all the Final Fantasies? Because some might say that having 3 Final Fantasies on there is perhaps a little bit excessive. But again, this is your list. I'm not sure. What is the exercise? We're making a collective list, or
yeah, I think it can be a collective list. I nominated all these because I think this is SquareSoft at its prime.
Yeah.
It's right before the collapsing hubris of Final Fantasy Spirits Within, but like 7, 8, 9, Vagrant Story, all of those games, Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics. Those are like monolithic games. They're incredible games. And it's hard for me to imagine the PlayStation without them.
It's kind of like Jim Carrey's early 90s run where you're just like, holy shit, this guy's on fire.
Yeah.
It's been talked to death. I feel like I've heard this fact in so many different contexts.
Yeah.
But Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask released the same calendar year.
It's insane.
Absolutely staggering.
It's like this year with Eddington, Fantastic Four, First Steps, and The Materialist.
Look, I like 2 of those movies quite a bit.
I haven't seen the 2 that you like.
I looked it up, and Fear Effect had a like because I talked about how it was being kind of a horny game, and I was trying to remember which one it was. It was the sequel, Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix, and it was definitely the sort of thing that was like it was marketed towards like men. It was marketed towards dudes, but it did have a lesbian like love triangle within the game.
I just gotta say,
yeah,
I know we did the titles episode a couple months back at this point. Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix, that's an all-timer. That's really good.
Pretty good.
is Fear Effect scary?
What?
No, it's not really scary. It's more of like an action sort of experience in my memory. I only played the first one.
It's not enough that it's just called fear, right? The game's got what is fear?
Yeah.
Like fear is nothing.
Yeah.
What we need is the effect of fear.
Yeah. The effect of fear for me saying
fear effect. What a meeting. God,
Yeah.
I wish I could like, you know, if you get a time machine and you could like go back to certain events, and like maybe just be like a ghost in the room, then you're like witnessing these events and just getting to like see history without affecting like time.
Oh my God, Lincoln's conception.
Wait, you're there the night he's conceived? Not even.
The weirdest part of what you just said is you making eye contact with the other time traveler. There's one other guy in the room.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Put a top hat on his dad.
I like how this fits.
But there are so many meetings in 90s game rooms that I wish I could have been a part of. And like the naming of Fear Effect would be a good one.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that Rayman was a launch title because I feel like Rayman is now console agnostic.
Right.
But like there's a world where like if there wasn't Crash, Rayman is their guy. Yeah. And I don't know if he had the juice. I like Rayman.
I like Rayman.
I like it too, but I don't know if he's got the juice overall.
Came out for Saturn.
Did it? Also?
I think it was multi-platform. I think it was on PC too. I don't remember. I remember it being everywhere. I could be wrong.
I played the shit out of that first Rayman. I really liked it.
I mean, the guy who is I know this may sound biased because of the list I just provided, but the guy who is the face of PlayStation is Cloud. Like he is. Yeah. He's still relevant 30 years later. Whereas I don't feel like a lot of people. That Crash holds a lot of currency anymore.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, it's kind of a shame because like after the first 3 games and Crash Team Racing, they sort of bungled the franchise a little bit, and there was like crossovers with Spyro. There was like then he moved from Naughty Dog to Activision, and you know Activision of course ruined it.
Yeah.
And it didn't ever really quite recover. But the most recent one, the 4th one, the canonical 4th, not the. There was a 4th game, but they're now like this new one is the 4th one. Is supposed to be great fun in the spirit of the originals.
I wouldn't put either of these games on in my top 10 or on the Mount Rushmore if we're going to do that, which is maybe the way to go. Maybe we collab on a Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's easier.
You know, what are the square, triangle, circle, and cross of the PlayStation 1 games?
See this right here? That's podcast hosting excellence right there. That was incredible.
First I should shout out Tekken 3, a PlayStation fighter that I did really like, and the one entry in the Tekken series I really got into. And I think all the Tekken games on PlayStation 1 were pretty good. But the games I was going to mention were 2 JRPGs. One, Chrono Cross, the sequel to Chrono Trigger, that was a little bit bloated and certainly didn't stick the landing. Certainly didn't end in a super satisfactory way. Definitely not the complete package that is Chrono Trigger. I think it's worth experiencing for someone, Matt, like you, who loves Chrono Trigger now and was as a late convert to it, just to kind of see what they were trying. And it was a game that I like the way it came out. I mean, I remember. I have stronger affinity for the trailer for Chrono Cross because it had such awesome music and it got me so hyped for this game. I was like, holy fucking shit, they're doing this. And then you actually play it and you're like, ooh, I think they lost the plot a little bit. Yeah. But it is still a cool game, and it's an ambitious game. The other game I was going to shout out is a game I mentioned before when we were doing a retro what are you playing, but Xenogears, which is just an awesome, again, super ambitious JRPG that also is a little bloated and certainly does kind of like collapse under its own weight towards the end, but is just like an awesomely ambitious game with its own, like distinct aesthetic and bursts the Xenosaga franchise.
Is Xenogears the one where you fight Jesus Christ at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's you're fighting Jesus Christ, but yeah, there's definitely some, crucifix imagery.
I'm fighting him every damn day.
What? Wait, what is that?
I don't know.
You're fighting him?
We're fighting. He's testing me.
Oh, Jesus is testing you.
Yeah.
You confusing him with the devil?
I don't know which is which. Big red guy?
Yeah,
that's Jesus.
Okay.
That's Jesus after he's been on the cross for a while.
Yeah. The sun. Why'd we make it like this?
Why'd we make it like this?
The issue is you say something like that, and to me, I like that joke.
Yeah.
But now we got to worry about the FCC shutting down HeadGum.
Man, to quote Eminem, the FCC won't let me be.
I think that if we're gonna make a Mount Rushmore, if we're gonna make like a top 4 of or just like the totemic most important, most significant, most iconic PlayStation 1 games, I mean, Final Fantasy VII I think has to be on there.
Yep.
It's one of them.
I think there's an easy 3.
We'll go for it.
I think it's Final Fantasy VII. I think it's Metal Gear Solid 1, and I think it's the first Resident Evil.
You think it's Resident Evil 1? I would go 2, but I guess Resident Evil 1 maybe had more of an impact.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with those games despite my lack of personal experience with Metal Gear 1.
Yeah.
Now the question becomes, do you go Gran Turismo, which, based on sales and based on relevance and based on, its long tail might be the entry there. I don't know if you'd certainly wouldn't be my pick. I'm not someone who's into racing games.
Yeah. You said long tail, and Jemmy looked up, was like, "Oh, more for me to chase."
Do you go with a Crash Bandicoot? I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of options, but yes, filling that 4th slot is tricky. Symphony of the Night was mentioned. Not a game that sold well, but a game that is incredible and has existed in the collective consciousness of gamers, continue to persist.
I do think that if it were to be a Crash Bandicoot, I would personally say Crash Bandicoot 2: Wrath of Cortex.
But see, that's I agree that's a better game, and it's a more fully. But this is the Resident Evil versus Resident Evil 2 argument.
Yeah,
I think it's fine to say, hey, Resident Evil 2 and Crash Bandicoot 2 are what's up there.
Is it Tomb Raider, which
could be
not only is still an existing franchise and like upcoming television show.
Yeah.
But like it could be argued maybe that Uncharted doesn't exist without Tomb Raider.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking at the Mount Rushmore of. I mean, maybe if you're just thinking about also the iconography of these games, you see Cloud's face and it's like, oh yeah, duh. You see the Resident Evil dog. You see Snake and you see Lara Croft and you're like, PlayStation.
That's pretty good.
You would know immediately what you were looking at. Maybe not with the dog.
I just to talk through other possibilities. I don't think it's something from the Ridge Racer franchise. I think if it's a racing game, it's Gran Turismo, but I'll mention it. Parappa the Rapper you mentioned. It's probably maybe not in the top 4, but just a distinctly PlayStation game, and the kind of thing that sort of like music experience with full lyrics is like the kind of thing that you can only do on CD hardware, CD based hardware. And
Punch. It's all in the mind.
Yep. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find. Let's see, and let's see. What else am I missing here? I mentioned Tekken 3. Spyro the Dragon? No, it wouldn't be Spyro, but I mean, I think worth mentioning. Yeah, maybe it is Tomb Raider. I mean, honestly, it's maybe Gran Turismo, but if it's our list, I guess we can throw Tomb Raider in there.
I do
with
think
Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, and Resident Evil.
It's funny kind of now to think, because there was a BAFTA list a couple years ago, or maybe sometime last year, where Lara Croft was the number 1 character. And we were all like, well, that's insane.
Yeah.
But she does deserve, I think, a spot on the Rushmore.
I mean, it's a British character from a British developer, I believe, too.
Yeah.
So probably skewed by them BAFTAs.
Yeah.
Them Brits love their own. What is the... Matt, what is your take on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? Because I think there's an argument for that as well.
I think there's an argument for it. I was thinking about this sort of over here quietly to myself, which is not conducive to podcasting at all. But I think because yeah, it was on PlayStation. I think it has a strong association with PlayStation, but it was multi-platform at launch. It came out on the Nintendo 64 also. I think maybe with a limited soundtrack comparatively, but I think. Hey, I'd love to see Tony Hawk doing a 900 on the Mount Rushmore. Why not? There's a game too that I don't think that this is. It's in a similar. It occupies a similar space. There was a Spider-Man game for the PlayStation just called Spider-Man. That was. I think there are more good Spider-Man games than there are bad ones. I think there are some atrocious ones. But this game to me was everything to me when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. It's so fun and so great. There's like, it's not as good as the ones we have now. It's more of a linear thing, and like the swinging is very limited and stuff. But it was one of the very first games I ever had a dream about that then gave me the solution to what problem I was having. There's a early, like I was like having a hard time at the beginning of this game. And, you know, keep in mind I'm 7 years old.
Sure.
So I'm like, dumb little shit. Not that different than now. And
you said it.
Hey, what the heck?
Wait, I am stupid. Fuck.
But you have to stop this bank from blowing up, and I was like, I'm putting the bomb in the safe, but nothing's happening. You got to press the button. I had to dream. I had to close the safe, and then I was able to continue the rest of the game. The game gets really hard after that. I think it's an all-time great game to me, but I don't think it deserves a spot on the Rushmore, but I just had to shout it out still.
I think the case for Tomb Raider is solid, except I looked it up. I'm reading just from Wikipedia here. It was first released on the Sega Saturn, Heather, followed shortly by versions for MS-DOS and the PlayStation.
That's like, this is a Hydrox situation.
Yeah.
Huh, did I play it on the Saturn? No, I'm almost positive I played it on PlayStation because it was considered the superior version. But yeah, I guess you can't put Tomb Raider on the PlayStation Mount Rushmore.
Not allowed. Gran Turismo it is. The front of a car it is.
By Metascore. By Metascore, Tony Hawk's the top 5 PlayStation 1 games, and you know, this is skewed by because these reviews were not being collected in the same sort of way prior to, I forget when Metacritic was established. It might be 1999. But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Tekken 3, Gran Turismo, Chrono Cross, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Wow, Chrono Cross that high.
Chrono Cross got a 10.0 from GameSpot, I remember. And again, just like
wow. I played it too, and I was like, huh. Like I just didn't. I do have a funny story.
Yeah.
So I was playing Chrono Cross after I turned 21, right? Like I'm playing Chrono Cross because I think I missed it when the system came out.
Yeah.
At some point, you could do the hot swap with burned games. So I just went back through the PlayStation like library and burned a bunch of games and was playing them on my PlayStation 1. But it was also when I first started drinking. Mm-hmm. And I had my very first hangover the day that I burned Chrono Cross and put it in the system. And I had never had a hangover before either, so I didn't really know what was happening. So I wake up and I feel like garbage, and I had had a lot to drink the night before and didn't know what to do. And I was like, you know what, I'll just play video games. So I hot swapped Chrono Trigger. And the sound of the PlayStation boot up made me puke.
I would have loved it if that had bookended at the start, you hearing the startup sound and then just puking all over yourself. What the fuck?
Like, what the hell?
Oh, I get it.
Well, guys, I love the PlayStation.
Yeah, I love the PlayStation. I'll always be PC, Nintendo. Those are what got me into games. So that's all. Where I'll always have some allegiance. I have so many frustrations with Nintendo, but I'll keep buying their shit forever. But the PlayStation is like it has given us so many like terrific games, and also was just like such an innovation in hardware design. And hey, you know, everything worked out the way it should have. As far as Sony becoming a hardware provider.
But
Everything, Heather.
Yep, the correct companies ended up winning the console wars.
but also everything.
Going pretty good for me. I have more rights.
They're inventing new ones to give you.
I just get a $10 bill when I go to the airport? All right.
Honestly, that would make going to the airport so much better if they just like handed you just cash.
Just $10. Get yourself a candy bar kit.
Yeah, get yourself half a muffin. Good grief, the price is there.
Should we do a segment?
Let's do a segment.
Let's do a segment. It's time for the question block. These are, of course, from our Discord, discord.gg/getplayed. Here we go. Wow. This first one's from Fierce Deity.
Hi, Fierce.
What's up, Fierce Deity?
And they write, are you as excited for Metroid Prime 4 as I am? Motorcycle. Now, look, I saw this in the Direct.
Yeah.
I am excited about Metroid Prime 4. Okay. I'm very excited about it.
Yep.
I kind of think that the motorcycle looked bad and dumb.
Oh.
Hot take. I don't know if anyone agrees with you. There might be some. I haven't read the reactions, and there might be some people who are on the same page.
It was in an environment that looked very just like empty.
Sure.
And it was just sort of like, well, what is this part of this?
There's only one part of the Direct that was worth talking about.
Well, yeah, the Virtual Boy, of course, which I can't believe is just coming up now.
That is insane.
What a crazy world.
I don't know how excited you are, so I can't speak to my excitement relative to yours. It seems like you're pretty excited. So I would say, you know what, I will answer it. I'm not as excited as you are, but I am excited. I think because like you sound pumped. Fierce Deity for Metroid Prime 4. I love Metroid Prime. I loved playing the remaster. And I'm excited to see Metroid Prime 4 with the long-awaited continuation of the franchise feels like on modern hardware.
Yeah, I just wish there was some way I could play 2 and 3 on Nintendo hardware, but they seem to not want to let me for some reason.
Nope.
Well, that's what they do. I am probably the least excited about Metroid Prime, but I am excited for people who are excited about it.
Yeah, I loved the remaster of 1. I thought that was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I would. So
we did an episode on it.
Experience it, but
just don't make me use the fucking Switch mouse.
Don't make me use the Switch mouse. Don't make me use it.
Make us use it.
I don't want to use it.
Make us use it.
I like that they don't make you.
Yeah.
Nobody's forcing you to do it.
I concur.
This next one's from Sergeant SARS Ben.
Hey, Sergeant SARS?
And they write, would you rather play games chronologically or in release order? One of these is objectively correct. Now, here's the thing.
Fuck, this is a really good question. What series does this apply to? I'm wondering. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but keep going.
Well, because think about this. The Metal Gear Solid franchise, just as an example.
Oh, okay, yes, that's a good one.
Not necessarily. The games don't follow a chronological order. Some of them are prequels, and some of them are direct sequels to other ones. But they release, in the order that they release, certainly. But it would be, and then the MS-DOS ones as well are part of this canon also. So it'd be interesting. I think it would suck to play them in chronological order because, in story chronological order versus release, because you would be playing Snake Eater and Peace Walker into 4.
Yeah, I actually have the narrative, the chronological timeline here if you want me to go through it.
Please.
You'd start with Naked Gear. I said Naked Gear because I was thinking of Naked Snake.
Yeah.
Naked Gear is not my mod of Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater would be first, set in 1964. Then in 1970, you have Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops.
Yes.
1974, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. These are not release years, obviously. These are the years of these are the canonical years of the game. 1975, then Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. 1984, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Then in 1985, you get Metal Gear for the MSX, later part of the NES. And 1999, you get Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake. where we get the Solid Snake becomes part of it. 2005, we get Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation 1. 2007 through 2009 is Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. 2014 is Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. And 2018, a game we covered on the podcast with the aforementioned Brendan James, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance,
yes.
which fucking rules. Anyway, I was going to say, as far as the mainline series goes, the order you would play them in would be Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Solid, then Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 4. That would be an interesting experience, but I don't think for an initial playthrough.
Yeah, I don't think so. You'd have to. Yeah, that would be like, I've played through these before. Let's do it this way to see how the story tracks.
I think that generally, there are rewarding experiences when you watch things in chronological order. For example, if you watch Andor into Rogue One into Star Wars, like that is a very, very, very rewarding experience. But I think that oftentimes prequels are writing for existing knowledge. And I think that the gravity of certain situations, for example, Anakin Skywalker meet Obi-Wan Kenobi, means nothing if you haven't seen the rest of Star Wars.
Right,
it's just two dudes meeting. There is no gravity.
Yeah.
So I think that you watch things in release order, and then for pleasure or interest, you can watch them in chronological order. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I like that.
Or play.
I think release. I mean, I think for first playthrough, you want to do release order. I'm curious what the correct answer is. Do they say?
They didn't say. They just said one of them is objectively correct. I hope we're on the right side of history.
Me too.
With this. This next one's from Horsegam.
What's up, Horsegam?
Horsegam. And they write, with Silent Hill F coming out next week. God, really?
Come on.
Highest rated Famitsu Silent Hill of all time.
Wow, that's wild.
I'm interested in checking it out, but I'm also very scared.
I'm super excited to check it out. Yeah. What a great October game.
Yes.
I will say that review is probably a little skewed because the F stands for Famitsu.
Oh, Silent Hill Famitsu.
They're like, hey, a game for us.
You're going to say I do it 20 to 30 times an episode? And sit there and be like that.
You remember?
It's just interesting.
You remember in Death Stranding 1 how they referenced the existence of Famitsu?
I mean, I remember a lot about that.
God, love Stranding.
With Silent Hill F coming out next week, what's your opinion on the game not being set in the titular Silent Hill? I have an immediate take about this.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
I mean, if it's good, I think they have the leeway with Silent Hill is now a franchise,
Silent Hill, Chicago.
Yeah, Silent Hill's not a place, it's a people.
Yeah. It's a
vibe. It is a little weird, but also the town has become so canonical that it's a little like, okay, well, don't you want to see other environments? Like, I'm fine with it.
I'm very scared to try the game, but I think I will. I will investigate it. And then finally, Mad Max 4025.
Hi, Mad Max.
Wow.
I'm writing it on my ballot. Would you have to put a 15-foot marble statue of a game character in front of your home forever. Who's the character and what is the pose?
Nico Bellic pointing a gun.
That's this week's Get Played. Our producers, Rochelle Chen, Ranch, Yard __Sard. Hey, thanks to Emma Erdbrink for filling in.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Emma, anything you'd like to plug?
Doughboys.
Hey, check it out. Podcast about chain restaurants.
What the
fuck? Sure, plug this bigger show.
Our music is by Ben Prunty, benpruntymusic.com. Our art by Duck Brigade Design, duckbrigade.com. You can find our merch at kinshipgoods.com. And check out Get Animate, our sister show on Patreon. Matt, what's going on over there?
We're watching one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's Elfin Lied?
Elfin Lied, the show that inspired the existence of Stranger Things. We are watching it as Stranger Things returns for its final season so that we can see what happened to give these boys these ideas.
And if this entices you at all to watch along with us, when I revealed in the Discord that we were watching the show, there were multiple comments that were just, Jesus Christ.
Find that over at patreon.com/getplayed. And you know what got played?
What?
The PlayStation 1 sound.
Bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow.
That was a HeadGum podcast.
I'm Tig Notaro.
I'm Mae Martin.
And I'm Fortune Feemster.
And together, we're Handsome.
What is handsome? Well, it's a state of mind. It's how you feel. It's whatever you want it to be.
Handsome is also a podcast hosted by us, 3 stand-up comedians you may have seen on your TV.
We swap stories, share life updates, and occasionally laugh until we cry.
Every episode we answer a question from a celebrity friend. People like
Sarah Silverman.
It's Stephen Colbert.
It's Reese Witherspoon.
My name is Mindy Kaling.
Hello, Handsome Podcast. It's Jen Aniston here.
You gorgeous W.
So if you're looking for a positive, joyful show guaranteed to make you giggle, check out Handsome.
Jump right in with whatever episode tickles your fancy, or start from the very first episode.
Listen to Handsome on your favorite podcast app or watch full video episodes on YouTube. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And don't forget,
keep it handsome.